Well folks, I'm very happy to announce that in a combination of me being a very lucky boy, very jammy sod indeed, and people at Suzuki being a great bunch of folk to deal with, I've only gone and got myself another bike to review. What could it be? What's in the box? Well, if you're on our Facebook page you'll already know, but let's cut to me, clearly on a different day because I'm wearing completely different glasses, and find out what I got. So this time, it's the GSX8S I've been given. Same engine as the Vstrom 800DE I had over winter, and I love that engine. Go back, watch those videos, you'll see what I think of the rest of the bike too. So right now, I'm going to let the bike do the talking, we're going to go for a little ride, see what I think, and I'll catch up with you after that. Right, so what have I got to say about the GSX8S? This bike came out in 2023 and was almost immediately awarded MCN Motorcycle News their Naked Bike of the Year award, so that's got to mean something surely. So I'm just going to go through a few wee facts and figures about it, let you know what I think of it. So we'll start off with what is for a lot of people the most important thing when buying a new bike, the biggest stumbling block. I hear it all the time. First question, what's the seat height? The amount of times that's it. Nope, it's a yes or a no after that. It's 810mm everyone, so if you are looking for a naked bike, middleweight bike, it's kind of slap bang in the middle of the middle of the weights of the middleweights, middle of the sizes, sorry. A wee sheepy. So yeah, not the shortest, not the tallest. Come down, swing a leg over it. Sure, you can lower it as well if you needed to. The weight is 202 kilograms. It doesn't feel heavy to push about or to ride, and it's not particularly heavy weight that anyway. The seating position for me, I'm 6 foot tall, so getting my leg over it's fine. The seat to peg is fine for me as well. I do have a gammy knee. I can't remember the last time I rode a bike without that causing me some kind of issues, but the fact that the other knee is fine tells me that we're all right. The seating position based on what the tank's like, it's one of those kind of narrow tanks that you seem to see a lot on this style of bike. It gives it that more kind of supermoto-ish feel when you're railing it into the corners and that, which is nice. I personally prefer to sit a bit more like a frog on the bog on a big fat tank, but the GSX8S has that. This does not, but this does a lot of things that I prefer to the GSX1000 on the personal level, so we'll get to that. The brakes on this are phenomenal, quite frankly. It's got Nissan calipers, front and rear. The rear brake in particular I think is an absolute peach. The front brake's excellent too, obviously, but in a day and age like this, when you can spend 25 grand on a fancy piece of exotica and then find out that your rear brake is rubbish and needs re-bled every now and then, I'm sure some of you know exactly what I'm talking about there. It is really nice to see a bike in this kind of category, this kind of price band, coming with such a good back brake. The suspension, now the suspension's where I've got a little confession to make. So when we started doing these, by that point you could buy the 8S or the 8R, which I have been out on a lot recently, Poopy Birdie, which I've been out on a lot recently. If you've been down to the shop, had a wee chat, you will know that I have been pretty much obsessed with that bike. I've been out on it a lot. And this one, sadly, I'd never even been out on it, obviously. Oh, hello again. Hello, old friend. Obviously, I hadn't been out on this particular one because I didn't have it yet, but we do have a courtesy bike, and I should have gone out for a wee play. I should have educated myself, but instead, you know what I did? I read some reviews online that said that the 8R had a sportier, better fork, that show a big piston fork was so much better. And if you watch the end of my video I did on the 800DE, I literally said you don't listen to that kind of stuff, you get out there, you ride it yourself, make your own decisions, and I'm a fool. I was assuming this was going to be a total pogo stick, even though it's a KYB, a Kayaba upside down fork. Kayaba don't make rubbish. Non-adjustable, they're all non-adjustable, which is sad, but thankfully they work really well. Whenever I read non-adjustable I go, I like to tinker, so it worries me, but thankfully nothing to worry about here. Now at the end of that video I did about the DE, I did say that the big thing for me about this bike is this engine, and it's so true. I adore this engine. It's a 776cc parallel twin with a 270 degree firing order. It is 82.9 horsepower Why don't you call it 83? And it's brilliant, but it's not about the horsepower. This bike is all about 78 Newton meters of torque, and the way it delivers it, honestly, it's such a fun bike to fling about. Combine that with that nice suspension, and it's just one of those ones that it's not about big A-road blasting. That's what I was saying before. Get a GSX8S 1000 if you like blasting about. If you like to, anything like me, I like to use the A-roads as kind of a way of getting to the fun roads like this one. And when you get here, you can just use this kind of bike, these kind of more lightweight bikes. And that's the thing, I think a lot of the biking scene, industry, everything about it feels like it's all to do with you spending all this time trying to get yourself to a litre bike instead of just you know, just enjoy whatever size you want. Try a litre bike, obviously, get up to that, see if it's for you or not. It's not for everyone. Like I say, don't get me wrong, I've had a lot of fun on them, but as you know, you can't really have much fun on them without doing very, very, very silly stuff. Whereas on these bikes, because you feel like you're wringing its neck, and you're just flinging it about, it's a totally different feeling to it, and I just love it. It just suits me. It just suits me and my riding style, and yeah, maybe it'll suit you too. Come and take one for a spin and see what you think of it. It's kind of the only way, isn't it? Oh, fuel range, I forgot to talk about that. I spoke about the shape of the tank, but not the actual capacity. 14 litre tank. Just don't trust don't trust the range. I've never ridden a bike yet that you can trust the range, but yeah, the first time I filled it up, it was saying I had about 25 miles to go, and it had 120 in the tank. No, sorry, 129 is what I'd used, miles I'd used. Makes sense. But it cost me £14 to fill up, so I calculated I really had about another 3 and a bit litres left, so there was nothing to worry about. So I'd say realistically, you're probably 140 miles, you'd be, you know, try and get fuel every 140 miles, I think you'll be alright. We'll find out soon. If I'm stranded at the side of the road somewhere crying, you'll know it's because I miscalculated that. Here's all the things I forgot to mention because I was having too much fun. So first up, it's a conversation I have quite often. The tyres, there's a lot of kind of bad press about these tyres online. It's really unwarranted, to be honest with you. They're really not that bad at all. It's the Dunlop Road Sport 2s. They're perfectly grippy tyres. If I was going to fault anything about them, maybe they've got a little bit of a longer warm-up time. I did notice in winter, on very fresh tyres, sub 100 miles, it was still possible to get the back to spin about a wee bit on the litre bikes. I never had the problem on the 800, to be honest with you. The grip going into corners is excellent. The feel, yeah, they don't have as much feel as some other sportier tyres, but they're perfectly good tyres that I would quite happily run. I will run all the way to the end, and then I'll replace them with something different, but not because these were terrible, but I know how good some other tyres out there are. The screen's very clear, very easy to read. I'm a bit of a Luddite anyway. I actually prefer analog clocks to these kind of fancy new TFTs. That's just me. But yeah, no, it tells you everything you need to know. Like I say, take the fuel gauge with a pinch of salt, like most bikes these days, unfortunately. I do like the fact that the rev counter is the analog style. But for me, yeah, if it was just a big old set of twin clocks off a Bandit, I'd be quite happy with that. The exhaust, yeah, I think it's got quite a cool note. It's a parallel twin. They all make that sound. A lot of people say it's a little farty sound, and they don't like it at all. That's fine. Just find a bike you do like and ride that instead. But no, I think this makes a nice cool little noise when you're ripping about. Probably could be a bit louder when you get up to speed, more just to hear what the revs are doing than anything else. But it's certainly not going to annoy your neighbours, and yeah, there's plenty of exhausts out there if you do want to do that. So that's it for just now, folks. Thanks for watching. I'm going to try and get a fair bit more content done on this one. I've got some ideas, doing a little tour. If there's anything else you want to see me do on the bike, keep it clean, then just let me know. Any questions you've got about the bike, just put them in the comments and I'll get right back to you. I better go back to the bike.